That's it. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the show. I hope you had a good weekend. I had a good weekend. Today is Veterans Day, by the way. And yesterday in Washington, D.C., now I thought this was nice. President Reagan addressed a crowd of about 5,000 veterans. And also former General William Westmoreland was there. And he spoke to the crowd also, but he said it was more like 1,000. So it's kind of a... We got a good show for you. I hope you're ready. George Carlin, of course you're ready. You're all in your seats. George Carlin is here, and also a very, very nice woman. Her name is Marian Aslaxon, and I won't tell you what she is, but you'll know soon enough. But a very nice woman, and you'll get to meet her later. And tonight, for the first time in the history of this broadcast, we have a male model. Here's a guy who comes pretty darn close to being a male model, Paul Schaefer, ladies.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I did a little modeling in my time.
What'd you say?
David.
Yeah.
I've been dying to ask you this ever since we started the show.
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
It's all right. It's all right.
See that? See, every Monday ask me how's my weekend.
I have these dreams. I don't know what they are. I think I've lost my mind. I seriously had this dream. I'm being chased by the Gatlin brothers. I don't know. Oh, you know, I'll do that in a minute. Now, we're going to be on, what is the date here? We're going to be on a Friday night, a rare Friday night installment of Late Night. What is the date? November 23rd. November 23rd, part of your Halloween celebration. No, it's not Halloween, it's Thanksgiving. So now, NBC, in order to heat up the nation for the big broadcast, they put an ad in TV Guide. It's a half-page ad here in the new TV Guide, November 17th to the 23rd, right there on whatever page it's on. This, by the way, is the first time NBC has coughed up the dough for an ad in TV Guide. When we first went on the air, nothing. You could get them in little flyers at the supermarket. You could get it. We had an ad in one of, not in TV Guide, so you know this is an important show for us. They put a lot of money in here, a half-page ad. Here it is. Let's take a look at it. This will be Friday the 23rd. Late Night with David Letterman's special edition. A special extra night of David fortified with surprise music guests to help you stay awake. So, right away, of course, you know we have nobody booked for the show. That's what this surprise music. Yeah, it's going to be a surprise to us. And then the other, of course, is implied without the music. You couldn't hardly sit through this one. But what I like down here, underneath all of that, take another close look. Down here, Mr. Rock and Roll.
Yeah, David Letterman.
Thank you.
Mr. Rock and Roll.
I've always thought it was between me and Chuck Berry, but I think this... Thank you. I am Mr... Hal, let's see. Let's see what that looks like. Can we, Hal? Mr. Rock and Roll. Thank you. So this will be one. Circle this one in your TV Guide, ladies and gentlemen. A special installment on a Friday. Paul will be here, Bill will be here, and of course, yours truly, Mr. Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the calendar, shall we? Get this right out of the way because we're... See, Sunday. There we go, and one more. There we are. All right. That's Phil Donahue. He's moving to New York, and we're counting off the days until he gets here. Phil Donahue, Mr. Daytime Television. I, of course, am Mr. Rock and Roll. Well, Mr. Rock and Roll. You know, We have a lot of wonderful guests on this program. We have a huge variety and a wide selection from which to choose, but that doesn't mean everybody gets to be a guest on the show. In fact, tonight we thought we'd take a minute here to show you a few of the people who wanted to be on our program, but for one reason or another did not measure up to the qualifications necessary. Do we have music for this, Paul? I like that.
I gotta say, what a great show. You not only can you play the piano, but you get to do a take, too,
that was a good one.
at the same time. This is a wonderful show.
Now, you're not steamed that you're not Mr. Rock and Roll, are you?
I have always referred to you as Mr. Rock and Roll. And I mean that sincerely.
Let me tell you this. People who know me as Mr. Rock and Roll.
Yes.
Folks who couldn't be on the show. Bob Daniels and Ev Mendelsohn, shown here, wanted to be on and perform their Mount Rushmore impression. Says Bob, we used to have two other guys, but they just didn't work out. We still think this is your best entertainment and educational buy for under $500. We didn't agree. Kai Gatto called us when he first arrived in New York. I had to be honest and tell him that no matter how popular he was back home, I just didn't think there would be much demand here for Japan's #1 Ronald Reagan lookalike. Kai Gatto. That ad was placed by our very own network. We're supposed to be on the same team here, aren't we? When Susan Weed offered to come on this program and saw a man in half, we assumed she was a magician. But it turns out she just happens to be one of those women who love the sound of metal on bone. You're never too old to rock, say the singing Vargas sisters. We sing a medley of Go-Go's songs in Spanish. We like to think of ourselves as menudo in skirts. I like to think of them as people who won't be on the show. The Gilbert sisters, pictured here, were eager to demonstrate their auto tan health spa. We strap plants to the hood of a car, explains Sally Gilbert, and run them up the interstate. The best part is that even on cloudy days, the windburn gives you that rosy glow that says health. We said scram. Mr. Rock and Roll. Animal lovers the world over are applauding jockey Juan Escobal. I wouldn't ask a horse to do anything I wouldn't do myself, Juan told us. Here's a picture our staff took when they auditioned inventor Sam Davenport. Sam said he had a helium-filled car that could fly over buildings. That's interesting. I wonder why. That looks pretty impressive. I wonder why this guy wasn't booked, because something like...
Jimmy, I think that picture's upside down.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Didn't do as well as it. We've got no parking problems here, says Westchester Police Chief Alfred Sloan. If a guy's parked where he shouldn't be, we put a rabid dog on the hood of his car. Told the chief to get a cab. Edwin Newman wanted to come on the show and discuss something strange that happened during the presidential debate he moderated. Whenever I said the word municipal, Mr. Reagan would go into a trance and start bending backwards. I'm no Uri Geller, but it's still pretty eerie. All right, Paul, cover me if this doesn't go. Have one of those takes ready again. Walter Mondale wanted to be on the program and demonstrate how he planned to airlift everyone who voted for him out of the country. No, wait, no. Not done yet. It's all right. It's all right. Walter Mondale wanted to come on and demonstrate how we plan to airlift everyone out of the country who voted for him. It will be easy, he said, and I think I can sell the remaining seats on the plane to tourists. We'll be right back. George Carlin will be here tonight. Thank you, folks. Hi there. And then, of course, I wrote Peggy Sue. Okay. I get a call from my mother. Dave, are you really Mr. Rock and Roll? Well, the neighbors came over with the magazine and said... It's always a pleasure to welcome my first guest. He is a very funny man, also the author of this book we've just been perusing right here. Sometimes a little brain damage can help. Please welcome George Carlin. George, nice to see you here. I know you're in town because you were hosting Saturday Night Live a couple of nights ago. That turned out very nicely for you.
Turned out very well. It's been 9 years, but I think I'm going to come back quicker next time.
Yeah, it seemed to work okay.
Yeah, it worked fine. I felt very loose, and they made it, you know, it seems like it should be a hard week to do, but it came out real easy.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It certainly looked that way. Let me ask you a couple of things about the book. By the way, where do folks get this book?
This is a bookstore book.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. You know, as opposed to the lotto stand and all that. It's actually in bookstores. Sometimes a little brain damage can help.
Let me ask you about this quote.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
That's
of course, I can't read the quote, but it's something here from Voltaire.
Voltaire, yeah.
Did he actually say, if you can't dance, you a lot of waitresses?
Yes, I think he did. Yeah. And if he didn't, he should have. You know.
Do you want to spend a couple of minutes just going through the book here?
Yeah, I got a couple of little parts that you know, you always like certain things better than others. There are some things, for instance, there's the Miscellaneous Ailments Foundation. We dedicated a couple of pages to them. A lot of diseases, as you know, don't have a comedian working for them, don't have a telethon. These are sort of miscellaneous ailments, 6-foot nose hairs.
Oh.
Hereditary fructose intolerance.
I'm sorry, hereditary
fructose intolerance. Yeah, it stays with you all your life, I hear. Laetrile overdose, irregular gait, lack of hustle.
Irregular gait?
Irregular gait. You've seen those folks on the street.
Yeah, yeah.
Oriental nightmare death syndrome. Which apparently only strikes a portion of the population. Non-productive cough. Some of these are minor things. Cancer of the bridge of the nose. That's no fun.
Yeah.
Circumcision blunder. I don't know if you can say something like that. But that is one of them.
Yeah.
So there are various things. Constant screaming, maidenly hysterics, different things that we think deserve attention.
You have a section in there of things that you never see?
Yeah. Things you never see. Well, a bum with nice luggage. 2 homosexuals who own a coal mine.
Yeah.
A street junkie with plenty of leisure time.
Yeah.
A man who snorts iron ore.
Leisure time.
Lots of these.
Yeah.
And I'm a list person. I like little lists, and that's where I get my fun. Here's a list of people I can do without.
Yeah.
Guys named Skip. Anyone with a charge account at an ammo shop. A man with 7 gold teeth who wants to play cards. Any person who drinks rum through his nose. And a man with whose arm hair completely covers his wristwatch.
Yeah, those are... now, what would this book go for?
This book goes for your $5.95, Dave. It might be marked down in some areas, but
now, George,
we tried to get jokes per page, JPP. We tried to get the joke per page rate. Look at this. Look at this. All over it, full of things.
Yeah.
See?
So while it's not
it's not your tome,
but it's dense.
It's not your tome. It's dense.
Dense with jokes.
That's
okay.
Right.
George Carlin. Sometimes a little brain damage can help.
Absolutely.
All right. We have to do a commercial here,
sure.
George, and then we'll come back and find out what else is going on with Mr. Carlin. Thank you, Paul. So it was right after I signed with Sun Records that I met Colonel Parker. This is from your book. This is a generic joke.
Yes.
A person goes into a place and says something to another person. The second person says something back to him. The first person listens to that and then says something funny.
Right. Can use it anywhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
Speaking of records, how many albums have you sold? How many have you released? How many have you sold?
If you count one way back for RCA, and you have to when you're sitting in this building, I guess I've released 11. And I don't know. I guess they sold about 5 million, something like that.
Very impressive, because comedy records generally, even a successful comedy record probably won't sell that many, and you've sold 5 million.
And well, what's nice about them, and I'm proud of it, they keep selling. Some of those from 1973, I'll get, I'll see that every week, every month, they're pumping out a few units.
Do they go around the world? They sell in other countries?
Only in English-speaking countries.
Yeah.
Sorry to say, we tried real hard. Tried real hard to get them into Bangladesh. No help.
That would be interesting, though. It would just be you speaking a different language, or somebody dubbing the albums for you?
Yeah, well,
it's one of the dumbest questions I've ever coughed up.
New technology.
How do you like being back in New York? I know you don't come back here as much as you probably would like to these days.
Well, I enjoy it, though. I have certain things. I love the restaurants. And I have a few favorites, little places that are still around. You ever been to Shorty's Footwear restaurant?
Shorty's Footwear? No, I never have.
Well, their slogan is, how would you like a nice meal out of someone else's footwear? And they feature chicken in a shoe, beef in a brogan, pork in a pump.
Pork in a pump. Let me jot that down, George, because I'd like to order that if I could. Pork in a pump. All right.
Lox in a loafer. And of course, mostaccioli in a moccasin. Which they're getting into the foreign things.
Yeah, this specialty place, obviously. Now, do you find that the name of a restaurant has any kind of tip-off to what you're going to get?
Yeah, I'll try to avoid a place that's called Scarf and Barf. Although the bulimics, I understand, like it quite a bit. There's an interesting anorexic restaurant here in New York with no waiters. But you know what you want to stay out of? You want to stay out of a place called the Coach and Roach, Moldy's, the Nauseateria, Casa Gristle. The restaurant for the unclean, I don't find too appealing.
Yeah. Now, you spend most of your time in Southern California or on the road.
Yeah.
Now, what is your comparison of the service you get in a restaurant from, say, Southern California to New York or any other place in New York?
Well, I think you'd agree, because you get on that plane a lot, I know. Service is pretty much standard. I try to avoid any waitress who has a tattoo that says, born to serve food. Or a waiter with a Band-Aid, where the orange is starting to run. Well, these are tips. Listen, don't blame me. It's not my world.
No, that's right. It's not George's world.
I like to have a little fun when they, a lot of the waiters are very attentive. You know how they come around and they say, is everything okay? They'll come 2 or 3 times, and I'm literal with it. I say, no, as a matter of fact, my sister's out of work. The television doesn't work. My feet hurt, and I owe a lot of money.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're really attentive. They'll call you at home that night and ask you if everything is still okay. But I keep them on their toes. I order unusual things. They'll ask you if you would like something from the bar, and I'll say, yeah, give me a prune margarita, will you? With a watermelon twist. Gin and napalm is another one of my favorites. Listerine and soda, that's always nice. But with the peppermill, they stand there. I let them go for about an hour with the peppermill. Very nice. Let them go. Big terrific. Right. And after you get a huge pile, and they say, wait, a little more, and then a little more, they say, okay, that's it. Keep them on their toes. That's my...
You know what I did one time, and it's an interesting reaction depending on where you are. The waitress or waiter came over and said, you know how they will garnish your plate usually with some parsley? And the waiter came over and said, can I get you anything else? I said, yeah, I'd like some more parsley, please.
Yes. Well, I have a friend who's existed on garnish alone for 11 years.
Right.
So here we are.
That's it. Are we done with the restaurant? So, where are you going from here?
I'm going home, and then I jump out a little bit more, and then take a nice vacation for myself. A little road work.
Where are you
to
going on
Nashville.
vacation?
Going down to St. Martin in the Caribbean
nice.
for Christmas and New Year's. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
The book here, sometimes a little brain damage can help. And remember, despite its slim appearance,
That's
it's
right.
chock full of comedy, ladies and gentlemen. George Carlin, nice to see you again, George.
Thank you, Dave.
Have a good trip. We got to pause here for thank you very much, Paul. Coming up in the next half hour of tonight's program, we will be meeting the Marian Aslickson and also Jeff Aquilon, who is a male model.
Dave,
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
do you have any A1 sauce?
No, I'm sorry, Chris. We don't have any A1 sauce.
Okay, thanks anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, that, of course, was episode number 3 of our new running character on the show, The Guy Under the Seats. And there he is, our own Chris Elliott. Chris, come on up and take a bow. Chris, just a second. I just wanted to say that I thought tonight you were really good.
Well, thank you, Dave. Thanks.
And no, I really did. Now this was the 3rd episode of The Guy Under the Seats.
Yeah,
Yeah. And what did you call this installment?
the cookout.
Well, I think we all really enjoyed it, and you're really starting to define that character now.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
Yeah, and I really think we saw kind of an improvement over the last appearance.
Oh, well, thanks, Dave.
Yeah. Chris, for people who haven't seen maybe the first couple of installments, what exactly is your character here?
He's a guy who lives under the seats here, and every once in a while he'll come up and try to interrupt the show.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I really thought the A1 sauce joke worked really good.
Is there something wrong with the A1 sauce joke there?
No, not at all. I thought that it was...
Was it not up to the usual standards of excellence of this show? Is that the problem?
No. Chris, I thought the joke was really cute.
Cute.
Yeah, I thought it was cute.
You know, mister, one of these days, you and I are going to go round and round.
Now, Chris, I don't want any trouble. I was
Let's just
saying...
say, from now on, I'm going to make your life a living hell. No matter what you're doing, whether it's stupid pet tricks, stupid human tricks, Jay Leno, whoever it is, I'll be watching you. I'm watching you, Dave.
Yeah, okay.
I'm watching you.
All right. We'll be right back. Let's all be there. Now, these are the same people who decided to change last year's slogan, which was, of course, be there, to let's all be there. That was probably a seminar somewhere. They put that together. A special extra night fortified with surprise music. Why don't you tune in and be surprised along with us to see who's there? Mr. Rock and Roll. Boy, I couldn't be more proud. Well,